Long ago, in a land where dusty winds blew across quiet hills, there lived a boy named David. He was not tall, he was not strong, and he was not yet a man, but he had something deep within him, a quiet fire, a strength that didn't show on the outside. David lived in Bethlehem, a small town surrounded by fields. Each day he walked through the pastures, his sling at his side, a wooden staff in hand, and behind him a flock of gentle sheep. He was a shepherd, the youngest son of Jesse. While his older brothers went to war, David stayed behind. He sang songs to the sheep, talked to God under the stars, and practiced with his sling, stone after stone, until he could strike a leaf as it fluttered in the wind. But far from the fields, trouble was growing. The Philistines, Israel's enemies, had gathered for battle. On one side of the valley stood the army of Israel, on the other, the Philistines, and between them, silence, until the giant came. His name was Goliath, a warrior of terrible strength. He stood over 9 feet tall. His armor was bronze from head to toe. A massive spear rested on his shoulder, so heavy it would take a strong man just to lift it. Each morning, Goliath stepped into the valley, and he shouted. His voice boomed across the land. "Send me one man to fight me," he roared. "If he wins, we serve you. If I win, you will serve us." And then he laughed, but no one moved. Not one soldier in Saul's army stepped forward, not on the first day, or the second, or the 40th. Back in Bethlehem, Jesse turned to his youngest son. "Take some food to your brothers," he said. "See how they are." So David set out, walking across the hills with bread and grain. He was used to quiet, not the sound of swords and shouts. He had never seen a battlefield. But when he arrived, he heard Goliath's voice, and he saw what no one else saw. Not a monster, not an unbeatable warrior, but a man defying the living God. David asked, "Why does no one fight him?" The soldiers laughed. "You're just a boy." But David's eyes burned with belief. "I fought lions," he said. "I fought bears. God protected me then. He will protect me now." Word reached the king, Saul, and David was brought before him. This young boy, skin still smooth, hands more used to harp strings than sword hilts. But his heart was full of courage. Saul shook his head. "You can't fight him." David stepped forward. "When the lion came," he said, "I struck it down. When the bear attacked, I chased it away. This giant is no different." And Saul looked at him, and slowly he nodded. Saul gave David his armor, bronze helmet, heavy coat, a sharp sword. But David took 2 steps and stopped. He pulled off the armor. "I can't move in this." He handed it back. Instead, he reached into his pouch and took 5 smooth stones from the river, and with only a sling in his hand, he walked down the valley. The soldiers on both sides fell silent, just one boy and one giant. Goliath stepped forward. His laughter echoed through the hills. "Am I a dog," he shouted, "that you come at me with sticks?" But David stood still, his voice calm. "You come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord." He pulled a stone from his pouch, placed it in his sling, and began to swing, faster and faster. The air tightened, time seemed slow, and then he let go. The stone soared, straight and fast, and struck the giant, right in the center of his forehead. Goliath's eyes widened, his knees buckled, and he fell, face down, onto the earth. The valley was silent. No one spoke, no one breathed, until a shout rose from the army of Israel, and then another and another. The Philistines ran, the Israelites chased. Victory from the hands of a boy. David stood in the middle of the field, wind brushing against his face, And he looked up to the sky, to the same sky he prayed under, and he whispered, "Thank you." He didn't win because he was strong, or tall, or trained in battle. He won because he believed, because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's standing tall in the face of it, because even the smallest voice can carry the greatest truth, and even the smallest stone can bring down the tallest giant.